You're listening to the Savage Sacktap. It's not a podcast, it's not a half-cast, it's just a quick shot to the balls to help you finish off the week. We're cutting through the bullshit, filling your Friday with rage-fueled logic, and cracking a few jokes along the way. So grab a bag of frozen peas. There's a Savage Sacktap coming your way.
Smooth, lascivious, salacious, outrageous.
Oh boy, it's time for the Savage Sacktap. What up, bitches? It's been a couple weeks since we podcasted last, and there is a perfectly good reason for that. Summertime, New Jersey. I get the shore. I need to drink and fornicate and feast on food and soak up the sun, all that other shit. I actually got a fucking gnarly sunburn on my back Memorial Day weekend. I was making a sand castle, and I was using one of those, like, spray-on, fucking suntan, sunblocks that never quite hits all the spots, and no one else was around, because it was, Tuesday, everyone else had gone back to work, but I had the day off, so I thought I had hit my entire back, but I wound up getting, like, a really, really red, sunburn in the middle of my back. But it's cleared up now. It's a little itchy and peeling for a few days, but now we're in good shape. So anyway, yes, it is summertime, so we'll have a little bit of a slower production rate on these episodes because I like to go out and I'm gonna soak up the sun, gonna tell everyone to lighten up, burn, Sheryl Crow. But I am planning some super cool episodes for the summer. All surprises though. I don't want to give away too much, but we're gonna have a little fun with some shit. And on that note, I'm also investing in some new equipment because, as you may have noticed, the sound quality on this podcast absolutely blows. I think our content is outstanding, but well, I mean, it could always get better. But the sound quality has just sucked absolute ass. And as I start to get more serious into the podcasting game here, I need to step it up on the tech end. So, investing in some new mics, nice fancy new mixer, everything probably over the next couple months. It's definitely cost intensive, so I didn't want to buy it all in one shot because all of my lunatic friends are getting married, so I have to save up for hotels and gifts and all sorts of shit like that. But we are in the process of upgrading our hardware, so good things on that end. Most likely going to be moving from Podomatic over to Libsyn probably before the end of the year, I would think. More storage, a bunch of other shit that really doesn't apply to you. But once we get that going, and with the new equipment, etc., after I have about, I'd say, 8 episodes done on the new server, we'll start loading to iTunes. Can't really load the old episodes to iTunes. There's a lot of commercial music in there, and iTunes will boot you for doing that. But when we do transfer from Podomatic over to Libsyn, I'll be archiving all the old episodes anyway. We'll throw up a Savage Crew classic every once in a while when I'm too lazy to do a show on my own. So you won't lose any of the old content that we had so much fun with, but you'll be getting some awesome new shit. And on that note, on the new shit note, we have a new segment coming in starting this week. It will be mostly every time I do unless it's like a special show that would be completely non sequitur to do so. We will be adding a new segment called Shark Facts every time we podcast. It's just a segment where we talk about sharks, because sharks are fucking awesome. You look at our Facebook wallpaper, what do you see? Fucking big-ass great white shark leaping out of the ocean. It's the most savage, perfect predator on the planet. And I know people are like, oh yeah, orcas, man. Or killer whales. That's why they call them killer, man, because they'll fuck you up. Killer whales kill sharks all the time. Yeah, you know what? Because fucking killer whales are fucking pussies. They have to hunt in packs, alright? Sharks go fucking rogue, baby. They go out on their own. I'm Team Shark. What else? Social media. I just mentioned the Facebook page. Check us out on Facebook. We are the Savage Crew. Patrick Bateman is our avatar. He's got those sweet I guess they're Ray-Bans. Yeah, he's wearing the Ray-Bans, talking on the big old portable phone. Patrick Bateman. And then the wallpaper you'll see is the Great White Shark. So search The Savage Crew on Facebook. That's how to find us. You want to check me out on Twitter, it's at Mike Montone. And The Savage Crew is on Twitter as well. I don't really use that account too often, but you can check out at The Savage Crew. I have no idea when the last time I tweeted from that fucking thing was. So, at Mike Montone, definitely the better way to get at me. And before we get started today, I should mention that we have partnered with a local charity, and I've promised to run their ads during the show, sort of a way for us to give back to the community from which I have taken so much. So, before we get into it, I gotta hit a little PSA for you. Here we go.
Every year, millions of men around the world reach full sexual maturity with a penis that's less than 6 inches long.
Well, they say everything's bigger in Texas. Guessing I must have been born in Arkansas.
Now, Cox of Love is giving those men a second chance, but we need your help.
Walked in and found my wife having relations with the gardener. Had to exercise my Second Amendment right to protect my manhood. Killed them both.
For just 25 cents a day, the cost of a gumball, you can adopt one of these men and help them afford the surgically enhanced genitals they so desperately need.
And down here, it's legal to shoot your wife for sleeping with a more well-endowed fella, especially if he's a damn minority. DA was nice enough to put me in touch with Cox of Love.
Thanks to the donations we've already received, Cox of Love has been able to give scores of men a new lease on life. In addition to the satisfaction of helping a less endowed man get the penis he's always wanted, Cox of Love will provide you with regular updates on the status of your adopted cock.
Hell, now I'm serving up big cuts of smoked brisket.
So what are you waiting for? Dial 1-800-BIG-COCK right now. That's 1-800-BIG-COCK. Or visit www.coxoflove.com and adopt a cock today.
Wouldn't you like to buy a new cock for someone like me? Cox of Love, coming up big for the little guys.
Very, very serious stuff, folks. I sure hope that southern gentleman gets the penis he's always wanted. Although by the sound of the ad, sound like you got it. Serving up big old pieces of smoked Texas brisket. Because as we all know, if anyone needs to have their penis enlarged, it's probably gun-toting rednecks from Texas. Anyway, let's kick it, shall we? Get into our topics for the Dizzy motherfuckers. Probably a little late to the table on this one, since it happened a couple weeks ago, but I had to opine, because for a few days there, the entire country was going batshit ballistic over this gorilla thing. Right, so I couldn't not jump in. Although I don't know if jump in is the best phrasing to use for this. Ooh, I hope they don't have to shoot a gorilla after I jump in. Anyway, a little late, but whatever. Fuck it. There seem to be two prevailing, equally retarded camps attached to this event. The first is that the first sort of school of thought is that the gorilla shouldn't have been shot, and that they should have used a tranquilizer dart, or that the gorilla never would have hurt the child, because the people who think this, they heard someone somewhere once say that gorillas are very friendly, and these are like the same morons who say things like, "Oh, the cop should have shot him in the hand so the criminal would just drop his gun." It just doesn't fucking work like that, okay? The tranquilizer darts take forever to kick in. They take like 10 minutes to kick in. So now we have a furious gorilla who was just poked with a needle, running around with a kid in his clutches, because that's going to end real fucking well. Oh, and by the way, remember, he was dragging the kid through that little cement river thing. So, I mean, what happens next there? Eventually, the gorilla gets woozy, passes out from the trank, and he falls on top of the kid, and it crushes him and drowns him in the little river, and then we have to kill the fucking gorilla anyway? Hey, get the fuck out of here. Then the kid's dead, and the gorilla's dead, and we're all sad. The same goes for the idiots who are saying things like, "Well, you know what? They could have shot him in the shoulder instead of killing him." Okay, and then what? It appears we have the same scenario as with the trank gun. A furious 400-pound gorilla has possession of a child, and That sounds like it'll end splendidly. Yeah. Jesus. There are also the... Why did they have to shoot him? There were men there. Someone could have jumped in to help. Yeah, that crowd. Look, fucknuts. It would take, like, 20 dudes, and I mean, like, strong dudes, who are probably doing better shit with their time than, like, the schlubby, family man dad bods who are hanging out at the Cincinnati Zoo. Like, the kind of guys that can jump and take down a gorilla are probably either at the gym, at the beach, or, laying pipe to a really hot chick somewhere. They're not strolling around the fucking Cincinnati Zoo on Memorial Day weekend. But it would take, like, 20 of those dudes to take down this beast barehanded. And that, by the way, is a very generous estimate, alright? Gorillas are strong as a fuck. So, in this scenario, instead of one dead ape, we have a bunch of mangled grown-ups and probably a dead kid anyway, right? And once again, we're gonna have to kill the gorilla because he just fucked up a bunch of people, alright? Happy? Is that the result we wanted? When people say that, my first was, what, how about if you were getting ragdolled by a gorilla? Imagine if you were 4 years old and you had somehow snuck into a gorilla enclosure. What would you want? You would probably want them to take a shot, right? You wouldn't want us to just sit back and let the fucking meaty-pawed jungle beast sit you down at a table and serve you tea. Right? You would be like, yo, take this motherfucker out. He's dragging me through the cement stream. Kill him! Fuck. You know what? This is all the result of Disney movies. A Nazi draws a bunch of adorable talking, singing animals and builds a theme park around them, and all of a sudden idiots around the world have banded together to decide that gorilla life is more important than human life. I can only imagine what it's like when a Beauty and the Beast fan sees someone discard an old candelabra. Like, oh, come on, man! What the hell are you doing? He can sing! Don't you remember how he serenaded Belle and the Beast? Oh, so sweetly. Fucking, are you idiots even listening to yourselves? The gorilla was killed to save a child, right? I love wildlife, and it is incredibly sad to see the big guy go. But as one of my inspirations for this show, Joe Rogan often says, I'm team people. Now, if it comes between the animal and the human, I gotta side with the human. And to the morons who are acting all self-righteous in internet comment sections, are you people all vegan? Or do you at least get your meat free-ranged? Pay the extra $1 to make sure it's cruelty-free? Not a fucking chance, alright? Because that shit is pricey as fuck, and Americans are way too fat to be affording that much free-range meat. So, assuming all of you heroes are all eating sweatshop poultry, it seems just a tad hypocritical for you to side with the ape just because he looks like a person. And 2016 is such a bizarre time to be alive. If you had suggested this shit in the 1920s, Teddy Roosevelt would have shot the gorilla, then he would have shot you, and then he would have hung both of your stuffed carcasses in the study at the White House. Right? That's what dealing with shit like polio and German U-boats and whatever the hell else was scary back then will do for you. Puts things in perspective. Teddy Roosevelt wouldn't have hesitated. Would have taken out a big fucking elephant gun and fucking plunked. Is that Harambe? Was that his name? Sorry, Harambe. Teddy would have gotten you. Would have gotten you. Teddy. The other group of idiots involved in this conversation, and that's what news outlets love to fucking call. I watch a painful amount of... I spend far too much time around the news. But news outlets always love to call it... we're going to check out the conversation happening online. The conversation. What are people saying on social media? Fucking conversation my ass. Alright? It's not a conversation. It's a bunch of people who are almost too dumb to breathe sharing their opinions. Alright? This is not a conversation. This is a town hall meeting in Arkansas. Alright? We need to stop referring to it as the conversation. But anyway, the other half of the conversation are these jackasses who are saying things like, well, I think the parents need to be charged. These fucking morons. And again, there seem to be two different reasons that parents have been people have been demanding charges for the parents in this case. The first is because the parents failed to reel in their kid, and through third and fourth order events, a gorilla is now dead. So these Rhodes Scholars think that the parents need to be held accountable for the death of the gorilla, which this is like the dumbest argument I have ever heard about anything ever. This is like if you hold a fucking party, your teenage kid holds a party at your house, and some kid goes home and throws up on his living room rug, his parents can sue you. This is like that on fucking steroids. Big old shot of fucking D-ball right to the cock. Human life is always more important than gorilla life. Again, team human. It's not even close, right? The human repeat after me. The human life is more important. This doesn't mean that we don't love gorillas. It doesn't mean we don't love giraffes or squirrels or fucking pigeons or earthworms. We love them all. We're human beings, stewards of the planet. Got to do our best to look out for the rest of the animals out there, especially our fellow apes. But look, if it comes down to it, I'm choosing the human life over the gorilla every fucking time, and I'm not charging the parents because a gorilla's dead. All right, silly bastards. The other school of thought is that the parents were negligent and need to be charged for their negligence to the child. Really? Is that you really think that? To raise a child to the age of 18 takes 567,648,000 seconds. In any one of those seconds, something can go terribly wrong. The kid can get hit by a car, can drink some bleach, choke on a fucking penny, fall out a window, Eric Clapton, I'm looking in your direction, wander into a gorilla pen. Absolutely fucking anything. So these dimwits commenting on Facebook, it's usually under like, you can always tell where it is. Like under the New York Times articles, there'll be like intelligent conversation, like, oh, there's an expectation that the zoo will put up a higher fence, or real intellectual shit going on. But then you jump over to like BuzzFeed or Mashable or the Daily News, where like the dumbest of the dumb hang out, and these dimwits think that a momentary lapse met with an opportunistic, adventurous child somehow needs to be addressed with criminal charges. Get the fuck out of here. Alright, then what? Then what happens next? His parents go to jail, and the kid gets sent to live with a relative or to a foster home, and assuming he has siblings, they have to do the same thing too? Because we've seen how that works, right? Always guaranteed to create a productive member of a society when a kid isn't raised by his parents. Right? Fucking high and mighty dipshits act like you have never made a mistake before in your lives. Right? It doesn't help that CNN is playing into this like it's a big deal. Like these motherfuckers have been treating it like it's the story of the century. The other night I was watching, they had a team of legal experts on. They had a guy breaking down a diagram of the gorilla enclosure to see if charges were warranted. Alright? That's what CNN was doing. This is amazing. Americans are just too fucking stupid sometimes, and CNN is there just, let me stir the pot, because we're fucking stupid, and we're whores for ratings, blah 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 blah, my channel fucking sucks, blah 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 blah, we're killing the fucking news industry. We have a race-baiting megalomaniac and a corrupt war hawk neck and neck for the presidency right now, and CNN is focused on Coco the monkey getting capped because he almost killed a little kid. Alright? Here's what happened, shitbags. A child wiggled away from his mother. The family had a close call and the scare of a lifetime. The gorilla was killed. The child was saved. The zoo needs to build a bigger fence. Get my ass on a plane to Atlanta so I can fix this shitbag network called CNN. The end. Christ all fucking mighty. Not even 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I already want to hurt somebody. Jesus. Whoosa. Gotta come down off that anger high. That rage-fueled adrenaline, baby. Whew! Feels good sometimes, but then you get a little too much and I'm like, alright, bring it down. Alright, here we go. Next up on the docket. Typically, I go off on things like the pussification of America and PC culture and all the things that are wrong with the regressive left or the campus left, and my friends who possess somewhat redder necks, those from the American South, they usually cheer and applaud because if there's anything they hate, it's, I hate PC bullshit and the goddamn Muslims. Which is why it's so delightfully hilarious that the people of Texas were going apeshit over the use of an Arabic word to describe a sandstorm. Right? The word in question is Haboob, which is explained as the following by the American Meteorological Society. But you know what the fuck do they know, right? Probably a bunch of goddamn Muslims over at the American Meteorological Society themselves, huh? Goddamn Muslims. Anyway, here's the definition. The name comes from the Arabic word hab, meaning wind. The term haboob originated as a description for wind and sandstorms or dust storms in central and northern Sudan, especially around the Khartoum area, where the average number is about 24 per year, with the most frequent occurrences from May through September. However, the term is now commonly used to describe any wind-driven sandstorm or dust storm in arid or semi-arid regions around the world, and haboobs have been observed in the Middle East, Arabian Peninsula, the Sahara Desert, Central Australia, and the arid regions of southwest North America, from the Sonoran Desert of northwest Mexico and Arizona to the western portions of the Great Plains of the United States, which seems entirely reasonable, unless, of course, you are a Facebook follower of the U.S. National Weather Service Lubbock, Texas Facebook page, in which case the arrival of a haboob surely means that Sharia law and bands of machine gun-toting ISIS thugs and all things anti-American are also on the horizon. Most of the anti-Muslim comments have been taken down, but a blogger for Fusion.net was actually able to salvage a couple, so let me dig into those here. John Fulbright. That's fucking brilliant genius John Fulbright. As this genius mispronounces that genius's name. Anyway, what did John Fulbright have to say? Haboob, I'm a Texan, not a foreigner from Iraq or Afghanistan. They might have haboobs, but around here in the panhandle of Texas, we have dust storms. So would you mind stating it that way? I'll find another weather service. Okay, John. You'll find another Fuck. Okay. Silly bastard. Brenda Daffrin. I don't know. Can I do a Texas female voice? In Texas, Nimrod, this is called a sandstorm. We've had them for years. If you would like to move to the Middle East, you can call this a haboob. While you reside here, call it a sandstorm. We Texans will appreciate you. Well, actually, you fucking dumbass, it's called a haboob because the people who do the weather stuff said it's called a fucking haboob, and they're the ones who know all the shit about the weather, so shut up and go make me a nice piece of fucking brisket, you fucking asshole. Been on a real brisket thing today. I got a smoker for Christmas. I haven't done brisket on it yet. Soon. I use it for chicken and sausage. Fucking awesome. Take like New Orleans seasoning and put it on hot sausage. Just leave it on top of the grill. Oh, yeah. Do it. If you're grilling this weekend, do that. Get some fucking Cajun seasoning, a couple pieces of hot sausage. Roll the hot sausage in Cajun seasoning, and then take, this is going to sound ridiculous, you're going to make a hot dog out of it, basically. You take some fucking sauerkraut and some mustard, slap it on there, inside of like a sourdough roll or something like that, like a nice crispy roll, and just feast. Wash it down with an ice-cold brew. Welcome to flavor country, motherfuckers. Let me get back to these idiots down south, because I really don't know where to start with these morons. First of all, there are about 1 million things and words that come from Arab countries that we use and love every day in the U.S., to include, but not limited to, Maya Khalifa, one of my favorite stars of stage and screen, sofas, spinach, limes, loofahs, caliber, alcohol, mummy, crimson, algebra, zero, and about 1 million others. And seriously, the food, I need to address that. I know I was just talking about fucking sausage on the grill, but I would go back to the Mideast. I would go back and fight ISIS if it meant that I could get my hand on good Iraqi kebabs on a daily basis again. The people over there, absolute fucking savages, without a doubt. They'll fucking blow you up while you're driving down the street. But god damn can they cook. Oh my god. you have not had kebab until you've gotten one in the Mideast. Do it. Go over there, risk getting your head cut off, or getting burned alive, or drowned, or executed by the sea, or whatever fucked up shit it is they do over there, just for the kebab. It'll be worth it. Jihadi John, he's dead now, but his replacement will be standing over you, toting the big dagger. He'll be like, I know I'm about to lose my head, but the kebab was to die for. Literally. Fuck. That aside, isn't this what the right is always shitting on the left for? Right? Being microaggressed or being bothered by a word? I mean, I thought Texas was tough. Texas don't need safe spaces because everyone knows not to mess with Texas. But of course, what happened as soon as someone used a word that made the Texans think of bearded guys with AKs and names like Osama? They threw a fucking fit on Facebook. And who does that sound like but the PC pussies on the far left? I mean, come on, guys. You are either all in on people being pussies for getting their panties in a bunch over words, or you're one of the pussies who gets their panties in a bunch over a word, right? I know which camp I'm in. I don't give a fuck. Use whatever word you want. It's not going to bother me at all, because I'm not a walking, dripping vagina. By the way, this PC shit has been happening more and more on the right, too. They'll never admit it, but it's been happening, right? Say something bad about the military or a cop, even if it's warranted, they go fucking nuts. Question their belief in a 2,000-year-old story about a Jewish carpenter being born to a virgin. He could walk on water, went 30 years without banging his slutty friend, but was still totally straight, and then he crawled out from under a rock just days after his brutal murder, and they fucking lose it if you tell them that that's a fucking bullshit ghost story. Suggest that women should be able to make decisions about their own bodies. They go fucking ballistic and start crying about dead 2-week-old fetuses. Want trannies to be able to shit in the bathroom of their choosing? They're scared of fucking trannies. I saw one in New York once and it was scary. Now where's my gun? The thought of a lady with man parts made my man parts all tingly, and I need to hold on to something long and hard until the gay thoughts go away. Now dang it, Jamie Lynn, get my gun! And so on. So, Texas, you have officially been put on notice. Quit acting like a bunch of PC pussies and call it a haboob, alright? I'm a Cowboys fan, and they play in your state. I don't need you to make them look bad. That's their defensive line's job. Those are our big topics for the day, gorillas and pussies down in Texas. So we're going to move on now. I am very proud to announce our new segment, Shark Facts, where we discuss facts about sharks. Here you go. Gonna hit the imaging? Boom! Shark Facts.
A shark is attracted to the exact kind of splashing and activity that occurs whenever human beings go in swimming. You cannot avoid it.
Bad fish. Not like going down the pond chasing bluegills and tommy cocks.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water,
This shark, swallow your whole.
we're chumming the surface for the most savage facts about the ocean's most perfect predator.
Bull shark. Screaming when I was taking
When
samples.
the ominous music plays and the dorsal fin approaches, it can mean only one thing.
Shaking, tenderizing, down you go.
I pulled a tooth the size of a shot glass out of the rectal of the boat out there.
Tell by looking from the dorsal to the tail.
It's time for Shark Facts.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Here's to swimming with bow-legged women. Alright, here we go. This is your first ever segment of Shark Facts. I just want to say the reason behind this is I've had this, like, fucking bizarre, lifelong obsession with sharks. I'm assuming that, knowing my upbringing, it was because my father probably used to torture me when I was a kid about going in the ocean and getting attacked by a shark. I can't confirm that he ever did that, but it seems like something he would do. Anyway, at the beginning of many summers, I have read a book. I didn't do it this year because I was reading a different book, but at the beginning of a lot of summers, I'll read this book called Close to Shore, A True Story of Terror in an Age of Innocence by Michael Capuzzo. Definitely worth your time if you need something to read. A little bit ballsy to read it on the beach, I think, because it's about a series of... I think at first they thought it was great white sharks, but I think now it might have been a bull or a tiger along the Jersey Shore way back in the early 1900s. I think it was like 1916 or so. Anyway, super, super interesting book. But It'll freak you the fuck out. It's actually the story that the movie Jaws is based on. And I know a lot of people, especially people from Massachusetts, will argue with me. They'll say, no, Jaws took place, the fictional island off of Cape Cod called Amity. Amity, as you know, means friendship. True, but trust me, I own Jaws, Jaws 2, Jaws 3, and Jaws the fucking Revenge on DVD. Alright? I know my fucking Jaws. The Jaws story, while it takes place in New England, actually was based on events that occurred in New Jersey. So, close to shore, Michael Capuzzo, definitely worth checking out. And welcome to the new segment on the show, Shark Facts, where we take facts about sharks and I talk about them for just a minute or two. Nothing major. So here goes. Here's our first. It's going to be only one fact a week. I should mention that. Can't be chumming the waters too much. Have a feeding frenzy on our hands. So your shark fact for this week: sharks can detect blood at 1 part per million, and they can even determine the direction of a particular scent based on the time that it takes to reach one nostril compared to the other. And this is from sharkfacts.com, so you know it's probably true. This is something that's kind of always freaked me out about sharks, because I hang out at the Jersey Shore, where the water is incredibly murky, and if you know anything about sharks, you know that they love to attack in murky water, because it's very easy for them to creep up on prey, even in the shallows. So you can be swimming in 3 or 4 feet of water, and still theoretically get attacked by a shark. So that's spooky stuff. Now, if you think about the 1 part per million, that means if you stub your toe on the boardwalk or on the street on the way to the beach, and you decide, I'm just going to jump in the water, going to rinse it off a little bit. Ho! No, my friend. You are just turning yourself into bait. Standing there, and they're just going to come. They can sense it from, miles away, too. That's what's always freaked me out. When I go swimming at the shore, what I usually do is I'll find a group of people who are farther out than I plan to go, and I'll treat them like Trump's anti-Mexican wall. I'll swim shallower than they are. I feel that if a shark does decide to come up and do some people hunting, he's going to run into them first, because if the water's deeper, they're probably going to be thrashing around, making a lot of motion and attracting a shark, and he'll ignore me, because I'm probably just kind of baked, kind of stoned, a couple beers in me, a little J, enjoying the sun on my face and the water around my thighs. Summertime. Anyway, I figure the shark will attack them before he even thinks about getting to me, and I'll hear their screams and see the water fill with blood, and I'll have enough time to get out of the ocean and just kind of take in the show, watch the ocean's greatest predator go to work. Yeah? And I know what you're saying. You could get, maybe he loops around, maybe the shark uses a flanking maneuver, hits me from the side. You know what? I'll take my chances. Still got to go in the ocean. Right? This is summertime. Can't skip out on the ocean. So I like to use that human barrier when swimming. Let the shark get them, not me. Alright? There it is, folks. Shark fact for the week. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this segment. I fucking love sharks. There you have it, kiddos. Shark facts. Alright, that's it for this week. Final social plug before I go. Don't forget, on Facebook, we are the Savage Crew with the, as you just heard, the great white shark, jumping out of the water, with Patrick Bateman as the avatar, and then you can catch me on Twitter let me take the cock out of my mouth and try that one again. Catch me on Twitter as well, at Mike Montone, and on the rarely used at the Savage Crew Twitter account, also. Anyway, catch you next time, probably a couple weeks before the next episode, but like I said, I'm trying to do a few quality shows over the summer, just because with all the vacay and beach hanging out, pumping out 3 episodes a month, I think the quality would just fucking plummet, and I would rather give you good shows less often, as opposed to shitty shows more often. So there you go. Appreciate feedback on any of the new segments that you heard today. And if there's anything you want to hear, let me know. Shoot us a message on Facebook. I will take on all comers and come on all takers. All right, next time.